Hello, hello, hello. Y'all, this is my first live. It's so crazy. I'm going to give a little time to let some people get in here. My daughter's right here. Sit down, baby. Sit. Sit, mommy. She's gonna be joining us. Sit, sweet girl. She was not supposed to be in the camera like this, but here we are. Okay, baby. Okay. Okay. I need you to move. I need you to sit. Sit down. What? Okay, so we are going to go ahead and dive in. Um, I'm not gonna hold you, I'm a little nervous. I used to do lives all the time back in 2021, but that was 3 years ago. So doing it now is different. I'm grateful though, because obviously I'm meant to be doing this. I'm meant to be helping. I'm meant to be being of service in this way to everyone. So I'm excited about it. Um, yeah, so let's just hop right in. This is my first YouTube live. I've done little testers before, but like this is the first one where I'm actually going live and like giving the value. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for taking time out of your day to just lock in with me. Like that just feels amazing. Um, so this idea, this concept was divinely led. Earlier today, this morning, I woke up and I was praying, and I basically asked God to give me my next step is what I said. I said, I want you to give me my next step. Show me what you have for me. What is the next thing I need to do to unlock what it is that you have for me? And we go on a morning walk every morning. So I got ready, went on my morning walk. And while I was on my morning walk, um, sorry, needs a D&D because I don't need people calling me. But yeah, I went on my morning walk and I have been like consuming a lot of content recently, and yesterday something inspired me. So God made me think about that. I heard someone talking about YouTube Live. So God was like, go on YouTube Live because that'll be, basically this is the avenue in which He wants to bless me. I did lives on TikTok a couple of days ago, and I was like, I really like this. Um, it's like a different kind of machine, but I was like, I really like this, so like might as well, try it. And then God dropped this in my spirit. So I'm excited about being on here. I'm excited to connect. I'm excited to grow my community. I've been on YouTube off and on for the past 4 years. I've really been locked in for the last 2 years. Um, and we'll get more into my story and like how all of this ties into this live session that we're doing. So this live session is about trusting God in 2025. It's a breakthrough session. And I basically want to teach you guys or help you guys to trust God more and to make it practical. Because one of the really hard things when I first started my journey with God and like really locking in with Him was I would hear trust and have faith and all that kind of stuff, but I did not know how to do that. Everybody was saying, you need to have faith, you need to do this, you need to do that, but they weren't giving tangible ways or reasons on how to do that and apply it in your everyday life, especially modern day. So God has made me a living example. Quite literally puts me through what I get to talk about. So like it's all lived in experience. And one of my homegirls calls me Faith. Like that's my name in her phone. So I live on faith, and it is not easy, but it's rewarding at the end of the day. So, yeah, I'm excited to dive on in. So, today we're going to be talking about trusting God in difficult seasons, practical steps to shift your mindset, how to take inspired action. And inspired action is really the key because we all know that faith without works is dead, right? So, inspired action is the works, you know. Okay, so now we're going to get into my personal story. My personal story really started with God I've always been in church. So, like, I grew up in the church. I was in choir, I was in praise dance, I was in all the things. Um, very much grew up there, but like, I didn't want that to be my life. I wasn't I wasn't a fan of the churchy lifestyle. So as I got older and became an adult, I definitely had my own spirituality. I had my own relationship with God, but like I was afraid of leaning into him because I did not want to be like the people at church. Like I that wasn't my vibe. So as I grew up, like I would pray and stuff like that, but I was very much like do it myself, Miss Independent. I'm the oldest daughter. So I feel like I had to like forge my own path. And with doing that, I was super hyper independent and I like didn't ask for help. And if I did, like it was very much entitlement and like just all of these different things. And it was in 2018 and I think I was 25 or 26. Yeah, I was 25, I think. Um, and I was had a corporate job and I was working in marketing and I was working my ass off. Like I was really, really working my ass off to like be the best that I could be. I had this whole vision. I wanted to be a CEO. I wanted to climb up the corporate ladder, but like I also am very entrepreneurial. So like I was just trying stuff as you should in your 20s. And I basically like had hit a point where I felt like rock bottom. I was working and living paycheck to paycheck. I could barely afford, I could barely afford my life. I couldn't do anything outside of going to work and going home. No extra money for extracurricular activities, none of that kind of stuff. And it was really frustrating me because I knew that I was meant for more life. I knew that I was meant for a bigger life than what I had. And so I had a moment where I just was like, well, I don't like how this is going. And I'm on my way home from work one day and like the enemy pops into my ear and is like, well, just end it all. I know. And I was like, and that kind of freaked me out. But I was like, okay. And I was like, God, do I really do that? Like, is that something that I really, Um, and God told me to pull over into this 99-cent store parking lot. And then, like, that is kind of where everything started, where our journey together started. Like, he got me out of that dark hole. And I told him, God, I'm going to give you my life up until this point because I tried it my way. And I also tried it the world's way. I did everything that they tell you to do, how you're supposed to live your life. I did all that. And it did not work for me. So let's try God's way. Now, I went very extreme in the beginning. I was very much trying to be in my Bible. I was listening to sermons heavy. I was very like I cut off a lot and I was just like tunnel vision, head down. And that got me places. I started reading more. I started becoming a little bit more active. Started really changing my lifestyle and like changing my mindset. Like I stopped listening to certain music in the mornings. I really started to live more of a God-centered life. And it did change. It changed my circumstances tremendously. My money got better. I was able to stay afloat. Like it was just kind of crazy how I was able to put my head down and like things were just working out for me. Um, and one of the themes when I was younger was like the weapon would form, but it would not prosper. But I wasn't recognizing that because I also wasn't really in my word like that to like really know. And so over the course of 2018, 2019 into 2020, God was really like pruning old me, working on my mindset, doing all the different things. And then in 2020, I I had went to Spain and like that opened my I mean in 2019 I went to Spain and that like opened my mind, opened my eyes to I'm not living how I want to live. I need to switch some things up. So then in 2020, um it was time for me to really like step into that. That sounds exciting, right? It was, but it was also scary because I remember God like stirring up in my heart, like, your job is not going to work anymore. You need to let it go. And I was trying to hold on so tight, and then everything started to crumble. And so I end up leaving my job right before the pandemic hits. My last day in office was everyone's last day. I have all this stuff in detail on video so that you guys can check out my videos and see the story. But yeah, to fast forward a little bit more, I end up going on this journey. For the past 4 years, I have been traveling. I've lived in 5 states in 4 years, all off God led. God has been telling me every move to make. He's been providing, he's been making it happen. So when I tell y'all that I am kind of an expert in trusting him. That's what I mean. I've been doing it for the past 4 years. I currently reside in LA, and I recently moved back to LA. My last stop was in Miami, and I came back here in July. And since then, it has been an eye-opening experience. I've closed a lot of cycles in 2024 so that I could step into 2025 as I am today, as the person that you guys see today. Who I was when I left is not who I am right now. So I'm just really grateful for the perspective, for the experiences, just for everything that I've learned and being able to like put it all together and like serve my people, serve people who need help. And you might be where I was in 2018 and being like, this is not working. Like, I don't even want to be here anymore. I get you. And even on my journey, even after 2018, I had those thoughts so many different times. But the one thing that never failed me was God's love and God's provision and God's protection and like his guidance and leading me. And so I'm just really grateful just to be sitting here today. And like, again, I told y'all I was nervous. Like, this is scary, because like I know that I'm called to this, but like sometimes your calling is scary. Sometimes stepping into that thing is super scary. So that's really what I want to like help you guys do within your lives. So let me see. I'm gonna make sure I'm hitting everything. The number one thing that I think has carried me through my personal journey is obedience. And that's the number one thing that is going to move you further in your relationship with God. I think submitting everything to Him is really important, but listening to the things that He's telling you to do. This morning, someone sent me a video and it was about the breadcrumbs that you get. So, like, God is speaking to us all the time. When I tell you He's speaking to you all the time, I mean it. It's just if you are tuned to Him or not. In 2018, I think it was around the time when I got really clear on God's voice and how He speaks to me. He speaks to me in this ear. And so God speaks to me in this ear. Spirit, the Holy Spirit. God is like my father, and Holy Spirit is like my mother. So I encourage you guys to find out how God shows up in your life for you, because the moment you do that, it's easier to hear Him. So like I know when He's talking to me, sometimes we'll have like internal dialogue. Like I'll be thinking about something, and then He'll come in and tell me something. So like we've evolved the way that we communicate with each other over the past couple of years, but this year I think we talk on a regular basis more and more. I feel like I've hit a point with Him where I'm just like, I need you direct, and He's come direct. So I'm grateful for that. But obedience is one of those things where God will tell you to do something and it won't make sense. It won't be logical. You have to like you cannot focus on what everybody else has to say, because the thing that God is telling you to do is going to move the needle for you. God knows your story. He knows your beginning to your end. So like if He's telling you to do something, He knows what's coming after that. So if you don't do it, or if you modify it to make yourself comfortable, you might be missing out on a blessing, because He knows the full scope. So just be obedient. So I want to share like my most recent miracle, because God has been working so many different miracles in my life, like down to like the places that I've lived, the money that I've received, like bills that were due and I didn't know where the money was going to come from. And then somebody texts me and, don't I owe you money? Oh, you sure do. And then a bill gets paid, like things like that. But most recently, so the place that I'm in right now, I literally have been living here for 2 weeks. I moved on the 14th of December. That is not what I wanted to do. I moved on the 14th of December. And when I tell y'all this was a crunch time type move, like God really did His big one with this one. He moved me in 4 days. And so since I got back from Miami, I've been like looking for a place to stay, because I knew I didn't want to stay in my childhood home, but I also knew that God wanted me there for a reason. So I was there. I was able to like be with my grandmother before she passed and be around my family and stuff like that. There was a lot of lessons and cycles that needed to be closed. So I was looking and I was praying like, okay, God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And He's just like, trust me and know that I'm going to take care of you. Know that everything is going to be okay. And He made good on that promise. it wasn't until the wire, like the whole month of November, I did not know what I was going to do. I also have a video for this if you guys want to watch it in detail. I did not know what I was going to do the whole month of November. December rolls around. I thought I had a situation and then that falls through. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not about to panic because I've been here before. I've been in situations where I needed to move quickly and God made a way out of nowhere. So I was like, I'm not about to get out of my own skin, and I'm just not about to be in panic. I'm not gonna do it. Like, mm-mm. So I just was like, I'm just gonna trust. If I don't have a place right now, it's because the place is not ready, and that's what I stood 10 toes on that, right? So the first week of December rolls around and I'm like, okay, God, I'm still looking. And I even, because I knew I wanted to live by myself. So I was like, I want a one bed, one bath, but if I need to, I'll look at roommate situations because I'm no stranger to a roommate situation, but I really didn't want that. So I'm looking and like, God's like, no, stick to your plan. Stick to the plan. I need you to stick to what you said you wanted. And that was a big lesson for me in 2024. Get what you want. So we're sticking to the plan. And I'm like, okay, I'm looking for one beds, looking for one beds. And then I'm looking on Facebook Marketplace. And then I end up going on Instagram just like to break, do what I do and scroll. And I look on stories and I see this girl that I have been following for years. And she posted a one bed, one bath opening. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I was a little hesitant. God was like, reach out to her. So I reached out to her. She got back to me immediately and things moved quickly. And when I tell y'all, this was on a Wednesday and I needed to move out by Saturday. So this was on a Wednesday. She sent me pictures and everything. I was like, can I come see it? I came the next day, which is a Thursday. And then Friday, I put my deposit in. And then Saturday, I moved in. And so it's a sublease, which is a great situation for me because I don't have all of my things, because I've been in transition for forever. And also, I did not have any money. That's like the biggest thing with this miracle. I did not have any money, but God sent someone to give me the money to make this happen. And that at one point felt like it was not going to happen. And then it did because I'm here. So I when I tell y'all, I trust God, and trusting him and being obedient to what he says and listening to those they don't make sense promptings and guidings that you get will change your life, will change your circumstance, will change your situation. Especially in a year like 2025, God is not doing what he was doing before. The former ways they're not gonna fly in this new year, in next leg of this decade that we're in, right? And that's something God has been really telling me loud and clear. And so he is having me share all of this because I want to be able to help you guys get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready for your breakthrough. Okay. So let's really get into it. So I am going to give you guys practical tips. This is where you want to get your notebook out because we're going to write some stuff down that is going to help you to be able to like live this out on a day-to-day basis, right? So the first thing is you need to identify areas where you need to trust. And what I mean by that is, what are areas in your life that you keep on hitting a wall or you have a block? Um, for me, it has always been money. I am such an abundant person, but I have always had money blocks. I even currently am dealing with like the final little residue of my money blocks. And so this year, I told God, like, I'm tired of money being an issue for me. And he's been working on money with me for years now. Like, he got me tithing, which I think is really important. He basically like got me in a position to where he wanted for me to be a good steward. And so he had me do certain things that were uncomfortable, but like I did them because of obedience. So figuring out what area in your life you seem to struggle with, or you seem to keep on hitting your head over and over again, that's an area for you to be growing. That's an area where God can work in your life, or he's probably trying to have you trust him more. There are some other areas in my life where like it's easy peasy, like I don't really have any blocks when it comes to these things. But money, that's that one where like I'm praying over it. So this year, what I started to do was, God, I don't want money to be my thing. I want you to be my thing. I want to center you in my world. I want you to be my source. I want peace and stability through you. I don't want it through a job. I don't want anything outside of you to be where my help comes from. And when I tell y'all, when you start to address the things that you have trouble with trusting in, he's going to teach you, show you examples by people coming into your life and operating in a certain way that is counter what you're struggling with. So like I know a lot of people that are pretty good with money. I know a lot of people who have like an abundance mindset, and so they operate in a certain way. So it seems like they always have, not even seems like, they do always have what they need. And it's because they have a healthy mindset when it comes to this kind of stuff. So you're going to be introduced to people who are exhibiting what it is that you say that you want, or what it is that you need to work on. Don't get mad at those people. Realize that the reason you're being shown that is because God wants to show you that it's possible and that you can do it too. And if you actually ask questions, people are willing to tell you how they got to where they got. And then the next thing that I want to help you guys with. Oh, sorry. Oh my. I think I'm chatting too much. Not too much, but too fast. So let's just, yeah, I got ahead of myself there. So after you identify, God is definitely going to bring people to give you an example of what that looks like. And then once you've gotten the principles down, once you kind of understand it, and like he'll start to have you do things that execute that new belief. And it is probably going to be uncomfortable. You're going to get situations where you're going to have to like spend money in a way that your higher self would spend the money versus your current self. Or you're going to be in positions where God is going to ask you to give on a larger scale than you're normally used to giving. Or you might be like, but God, you telling me to give, but I need it for me. And that's where that trusting factor comes in, knowing that if you do that thing that God is telling you to do, he will take care of you on the other side of it. And it's everything that I'm going to be telling you guys is simple. It's just not easy. Simple things to do, but it's not complex at all. But it's not easy to execute, and it doesn't feel good half the time, because to grow and to elevate, you are going to be stretched, and that stretching is super important. And that's something that's counterculture. The culture will tell you that glowing up, bossing up, doing all these different things is so easy. It's easy to step in your bag. It's easy to stay in your bag. It's easy to stand on business. No, it's not. When you're really out there for real, it is not. Like me doing this right now, operating in my purpose, is not easy, but it's simple. And the consistency and the devotion to what it is that I'm called to do is worth it's worth the uncomfort, because the growth that I'm going to experience. So in trusting God, you're going to go through growing pains. Endure anyway, because it's going to be worth it. The next thing is how to lean into faith, especially when it's uncomfortable. So faith is evidence. Faith is a substance of things unknown and the evidence of things not seen, right? So that means that vision that's in your mind, that thing that you've been wanting to do since you were a kid, the vision that you have for your life, the occupation that you want to do, the career that you want to have, like all of the things. The reason you have a preview is because that is what God has in store for you. That's the plans that he has for you. And the only way that you are going to get those plans, be able to see that in real life, make your thoughts become your reality, is if you act on the fact that you can see it in your mind. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That's my favorite quote, because it's so real. Like, y'all, my place right now, if I could show you guys the windows, I put a picture on a vision board of a stable, spacious home. When I tell you this is a spacious 1 bedroom, the windows look similar to the picture that I put on Pinterest. Because I saw it in my mind, I'm now living in it. I'm holding it in my hand. Um, and so leaning into faith, even when it's uncomfortable, leaning into, I know God told me this promise, even though my current circumstance does not look like it. You have to get comfortable with the fact that you're going to look crazy to some people. You have to get comfortable with the fact that it's going to look like, until the very last second. I'm going through something right now where I'm having to operate in faith because God told me something. And the only way I'm going to get it is if I act like I believe that He told me that thing. And everything around you could be telling you otherwise. But you being like, I am going to trust and have faith and um act as if is what is going to move the needle. And it could be something small. So when I was looking for this place, right, and the whole month of November, I was like, you know what, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm going to act like the place is already here. I'm going to act like I already have it. I'm going to act like everything is okay because it is. See, the enemy and the world want you to panic when things are not how you hope for them to be. They want you to panic, but panicking only where your attention flows, that's where energy goes. So if you're panicking about something, that means that that God is going to now give you more things to panic about. There's more energy in the panic than there is in the peace. So if you need to have more peace, and this is easier said than done, having wise counsel, and wise counsel is like trusted friends that can help ground you. Grounding is really good. That's something that I do. It's a practice in my life. I ground every morning. I go out and I make sure that I go outside, touch grass, and I also look in the sun. Like I even stopped wearing sunglasses on my walks because I need the sun rays to get into my eyes so that it wakes me up and like makes me feel connected and makes me feel alive. The month of November, I was doing my morning walk every day. I was journaling, as if journaling the best case scenario, because that is what I want to believe. I could sit here and believe that the things that I want are not going to come to me, and they're not. Or you can sit there and believe that they are going to come to you, and then they will, and you act on them, and then you act as if, and then more experiences of what you want start happening. Yeah, it's a snowball effect. It truly is. You can sit here and be you can be thinking that good things don't happen to me. You can tell yourself that. And that is what will happen. But if you say, I'm a lucky girl, things always work out for me, God always shows up and shows out for me. I say that all the time. God always shows up and shows out for me. Do I have to stretch? And is He going to pull me? And am I going to have to go through growing pains? Yes, because I know God to be a God that does, if He's going to give you a blessing, He's going to give it to keep it. He's not going to give it to squander it. So you have to become the person that is conducive of what it is that you're asking for. And that's another thing about leaning into the faith in uncomfortable seasons. It's going to be uncomfortable if you don't have no money, but you know you're abundant, and God wants you to act as if. How? You have to figure it out. Do your hair, get dressed every day. Never make a vow to yourself to never look like what you've been through. And I promise you, those micro steps, I've been saying this a lot recently, the micro things, the small things on a day-to-day basis, that's getting ready, making sure that you're ready for the day, making sure that you put on nice clothes and you're not just sitting around. That kind of stuff is going to move the needle. Getting your energy, getting your life and expectation for what it is that you want is the biggest key, the biggest faith move. That's energetic work. Faith without works is dead. Sometimes the work is like, hand actually going to work, doing all that kind of stuff. But a lot of the work sometimes is energetic. And I think that we live in a world, and this is something that I struggled with, where I thought that energetic work wasn't important. Energetic work can't move the needle. Yes, it can. Energetic work is what has me sitting here right now, journaling every morning, going on my morning walks, listening to prayers, listening to Abraham Hicks, making sure that my mindset was right, trusting that if I went and got food or like treating myself to little things, trusting that those things were going to, because I love myself, loving on myself and like acting as if I'm the abundant woman that I know I am. Those are the things that move the needle. Being in the energy of where you want to be versus where you're at, looking forward and not behind you, those things, that energetic work is going to move the needle, I promise you. And so the last little bit that we're gonna cover, I guess I just morphed them together because it's the power of small acts of obedience. So get into the habit of when God tells you to, ideas don't just pop into your mind. So let's start there. Ideas don't just pop into your mind. They pop in for a reason. There is nothing, a coincidence is not a coincidence. It is a divine thing that happens. And it's just a matter of if you're noticing it. The same way I said that God is always speaking, you just have to be tuned to it. It's the same thing with things in your life. This morning I asked God, what's my next step? He connected all the dots. Do this. What am I doing here? Doing exactly what he said. And there's something on the other side of this. I'm believing for something on the other side of this. And it might not happen how I want it to happen, but I trust that it's going to happen because I got ready. Listen, my hair was not like this earlier. I got ready. I got an expectation. I put my dress on. I made sure that I got ready so that I could do the thing that God is calling me to do. Was I scared when I turned this on? Yes, I was. Am I scared now? No, because I'm operating in my gift. And when you're operating and doing the things that God wants you to do, how is He not going to bless you? How is He not going to make a way out of no way for you? The God that I serve, He's a good God. And He's going to make sure that I have all that I need, especially if I'm doing the things that He's asking me to do. It's the same thing with your parents. When your parents used to tell you need to do your chores so then you can go to the ice cream parlor after school. I said that like I went to the ice cream parlor. So you can go get some frozen yogurt from Yogurtland. We used to do that when I was little. So you can go to Yogurtland, or so you can go out with your friends. Like, it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. When you start looking at God as your father, as like your father figure or your mother figure, whichever one speaks to you, when you start looking at it as this parent is a really like, that's the way that I like to look at it, because like I don't have the best relationship with my parents, but like I look at God as my dad, and my dad, as long as I'm being obedient, as long as I do the things my dad tells me to do, I do my chores, I make sure that I'm taking care of the things that I need to take care of. When I ask him for something, why wouldn't he give it? In the Bible, it says that if you ask, He'll give it. If you knock on the door, it'll open for you. So, like, these are the things that, like, but you have to be obedient. You're the same way that faith without works is dead. Is the same way that if you're not obedient, you're not listening, and you're not doing the things that God tells you to do. Of course, you're gonna look up and look at your life and be like, "Oh my God, what the hell?" But if you're being obedient, no matter how much it scares you, you feel the fear and you do it anyway, that is going to transcend. Like, God is going to make sure that you're good, that you're always good, because you're His obedient and His faithful servant. So small acts of obedience are going to move the needle. I like to call them micro steps that lead to macro steps, because it helps me to really think like, okay, these little bitty and the little bitty things, they just compound and then they get grow and they get bigger. Like, in my mind, that just works that way. Um, and these are practical tips. These are tips that you could start doing right now. That thing that I have a theory. So here's my theory. I have a theory that God told it, he told everybody something. There's something that everybody needs to be doing right now. He told you what that thing was that you need to be doing. You don't trust it. So you're not moving forward with it, but you hate your life. And you're like, God, when is it going to change? When are things going to change? When are things going to change? And He's like, they'll change when you act on that thing. Or God told you to do this thing and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that thing, because I'm scared of that thing. And God, just give me another thing. Or you start praying on another thing, on something else. And God's not about to, but it feels like God is silent, like he's not listening to you. He's gonna remain silent until you move on that thing that he already told you to do. That's how he works. Like that's just how that is just how he works. He's not going to move unless you do that thing. And then he might just be quiet because he is a gentleman. God is a gentleman. He wants for you to act in faith, and also he wants for you to come to him. But in coming to him, you have to do what he's telling you to do. I don't know any other way to put it. But that's how he works. And so the moment that you start moving on the things that he tells you to do, the moment that you start trusting those things, even if it looks scary. One of the things that used to really get me down was that, like, my journey and my path doesn't look like anybody else's that I know. And I used to be like, God, why is it like this? I don't have anybody to really talk about like this. And there was people that were empathizing with me. But then God started telling me, girl, your walk is different. The things I'm calling you to are different. And so you have to trust that your path is going to be different. But if you're being obedient, trust that I'm going to catch you. Trust that I'm not going to let you fall. Trust that all of these things are going to work to your good. And when I tell y'all, they have all worked for my good. The things there have been times where I thought I was not going to make it and I made it. I'm sitting here. Like, every person that's watching that this comes across your timeline, you have a success rate of 100%. Everything that you thought was going to take you out did not take you out. Shout out to God. Did not take you out, because God is a good God and because he is faithful. And but the role that you play in that, like, you expedite and you magnify what it is that he wants to do in your life when you participate in the things that he's telling you to do. And like I said, you're gonna go through growing pains because you have to become the person that can hold the blessing, right? I have been praying to be a well-traveled woman. I've been praying to be a business owner. I've been praying to do a lot of things. And so, you know what God has been doing? He's been putting me through a lot of things to become the woman that can do those things. The me that prayed them, she was not capable. She didn't have enough heart for it. She had the mind for it, but she didn't have enough heart for it. The things I was praying for would have took me out. Some of the stuff that I was just praying for, I'm like, why does it feel like, y'all? I'm a crybaby, so I'm like, why does it feel like this? It feels like this because it is going to require something of you, especially if you want a big life. It's going to require your old self. You're going to have to let that version of you go, and that is hard. Letting the old version of you go is so hard. It took me damn near 4 years, and I had to be isolated from my family. And then I had to come back and be around my family and stand 10 toes on who I became. And doing that liberated me, healed my inner child, healed my inner teenager. My last season before I moved in here was so difficult. It was so hard because I had to show up as the new version of myself. I could not allow my circumstance to revert me back because I had just did 4 years, 5 states of pruning. It was so difficult, but I had to choose who I wanted to be. And the moment you choose who you want to be, God will meet you there. He already, what didn't I tell y'all earlier? He already has it all planned out. Like, if he's telling you to do something, he knows the end. He knows the beginning to the end. So he knows that this step that's going to break you is only breaking off parts of you that are not necessary. He's going to break parts of you off. He's going to break people off of you because everybody can't go. But you just have to trust. And you have to trust that all the things are going to work together for your good. And if you are going through it and you're doing the things, you're being obedient, and you're just like, God, what's up? I need something. Don't be afraid to ask him for things. Ask him for things right now. God, I need you to show me what it is right now. Like, I want for you to show me how good it can get. And let me enjoy my journey. God, help me to enjoy my journey. Yes, I know you're going to prune me, you're going to stretch me, you're going to do all these different things. Help me to enjoy my journey. And I kid you guys not, he will. He'll give you these sweet little kisses. He'll give you these moments that you get to hold on to while you're going through what it is that you're going through, so that when you receive your breakthrough, you don't feel like super like, ugh, like I can't even believe that. Like I'll be going through it, but then he gives me little things that make the journey sweet. And then when I look back, when I did my 2024 reflection, I had so many things to write down. And 2024 beat my ass. Okay. 2024 really came for my neck. And doing that reflection really helped me because so many beautiful things happened in the midst of the stretching, in the midst of me becoming the woman that I want to become. So much beautiful things happened, so many really cool things happened, and I'm so grateful for it. I look back and I'm not remembering the stretching. I remember some of it, but I'm not remembering everything. I'm remembering all the good things, all the good memories that I get to have. So he's gonna bless you on the journey, but just know that like it's all gonna be worth it at the end of the day. And it's really just the baby steps, like atomic habits type stuff, like that stuff, just the little things are going to become the bigger things. Don't despise small beginnings. I remember I used to hear that all the time and I didn't know what it meant, but now I know what it means. It means don't despise the little starts. Don't despise the little moments. If you're waking up every day and you're switching up your routine and you're taking care of yourself in a way that you never did before, pat yourself on the back for that because an old version of you, she wanted to do the things that you're doing right now, and that's what's going to keep you going, being in gratitude and honoring the versions of you that you had to let go of to be able to hold the blessings that you have right now, so then you can move forward and you don't feel jaded by your journey, because your journey can get jaded because of all the pain that you have to endure. But if you start to do gratitude and write down all the things that you're grateful for, it'll change your perspective. And if you do it on a daily basis, you'll look up and you'll be like, I live a really blessed life. Like I live a very good life, even though I might be going through turmoil and I might be going through different things. Like God is so good to me. And then it keeps you in expectation for all the things that he has in store, because God's not done. If you still have breath in your lungs, then you still have options. Okay. And he's trying to do some really great things for you. So um I am done. That basically was my session. I wanted to give you guys tangible ways on how to trust God, why trusting God is good, why it's worth it. And I hope that it was helpful for you. I really do. I In 2025, for me, I'm taking all the limits off. Everything that I felt was going to keep me back, I'm not doing that anymore. I've come too far to just allow my life not to be lit and my life not to be what it is that I want it to be. And so I'm encouraging you guys to do that same thing. I have a program that God helped me construct, which I'm so excited to share with you. It is called the Abundance Blueprint. And basically, it is a 90-day intensive coaching program where I am going to be helping you craft your vision, create a roadmap, and execute said roadmap. Over 3 months, we're going to have 3 live sessions. You're going to have exclusive access to me. Basically, I'm going to be your abundant big sis, pushing you, helping you, holding you accountable for the life that you say that you want. We can start at any point. It doesn't matter if you're starting and you don't even know what a vision is. It's okay. All places are welcome. The reason that I really wanted to do this is because we have the ability and the autonomy to be able to design our life, and not only design our lives by ourselves, but co-create with God. And so I want to help facilitate and encourage you to do that, because the life that I live now, 2020 me, 2019 me, 2018 me was praying for. All the traveling that I've done, I went on my first international solo trip this year to Paris, all led by God. I've lived in 5 states. The things that I do now, the experiences that I have now, are all answered prayers. I'm living in so many answered prayers right now, and it's because I got clear on my vision. I created a roadmap and I executed it in digestible steps. And so I want to help you do that. I want to help everyone get their best life. My personal soul's mission is to elevate the quality of lives of others. There's so many different ways that I want to do that, and this is a foundational way that I want to do that. I believe that we all have access to God's abundance, and the only way to lay hold of it is to believe that it's out there and to believe that you can have anything that you want. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So um, there will be information. There is information on my YouTube channel in the community section. You can check and get all the information so that you can um, secure your spot to be a part of the course. Enrollment is open until January 6th. Our program will start January 15th. And we have for payment, we have you can pay in full or you can do a payment plan. I wanted to make this available and accessible to everyone. So like if you're looking for something or looking for a way to invest in yourself, this is the way that you're going to do that. I think that we're going to have a great time. Like, I love people. I'm a social butterfly. I'm really a people person, always have been. So to be able to help people become their best selves, get their dream life is so exciting to me. Like, I cannot wait. Like, I can't wait for y'all to sign up. I can't wait to be able to like talk to you guys and like communicate and do all the things. I'm so, so, so excited for that. So, excuse me. Another thing is if you want to sow into my business, my ministry, my life's work, you can also do so. I will be sure to put that in the description below. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. God is calling me to live a life of service, and He's calling me to just really trust and believe right now. And He put it on my heart to open up the floor. Like, if you guys wanted to sow into my business, like, I would really appreciate it. All the information will be down below. So yeah, let's close this out in a prayer. And I thank you guys so much. So let's close out in prayer. God, thank you so much for today. I thank you for the breadcrumbs and the promptings and the guidance that you gave me to be able to be on live here today. I thank you that as soon as I started talking, the nerves went away. So I thank you for Holy Spirit activating. I thank you so much for every single person that this video came across, all the people that popped into the live stream. I thank you just so much for them. I thank you for the hearts and minds that were touched from what I had to say. I pray that anyone that was listening is able to take these steps and actions and apply it in their everyday lives. I pray that the practical steps are something that they can execute daily. And when they look up 6 months from now, that they see like, wow, this really did work. And it really was simple, just not easy. I thank you so much, God, for the things that you have set aside for each and every one of us. I thank you for everything with our name on it, Lord. Thank you for being a God who does not give blessings to squander, Lord. I thank you for the pruning and the pain and the stretching that we do have to go through to be able to receive some of these things that we are asking you for. I thank you that you prep us for the life that we're meant to live, because you want us to keep the things that you give us. I thank you so much for just having a sound mind, a sound heart, and just for this collective, this community that I am building. Thank you for each and every person that is deciding to join and become a subscriber to this. Lord, I thank you for blessing this channel and blessing all of my endeavors. I pray that you bless every endeavor of each and every person that is listening right now. We love you so much, and thank you so much. In Christ's name, amen. Thank y'all so, so, so much for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we will be doing more lives. I think I'm going to start doing them on a weekly basis, so at least once a week. Yeah. Thank you for tuning into my first one, and it's only going to be up from here. I'm so excited to really build community and to be around each other and just like rally and get our best lives, because I saw a video that said that God does not promise our best lives. I believe He does. I believe God does promise us our best life. The thing is, your best life is not always going to be easy. Your best life is not going to be pain-free. It's going to require something from you. So the best way that I know to do that is to have people that care about you around you. So tap in, Let's get this. Let's become a community. Join, become a subscriber, turn your notifications on. Share this video with anyone that you feel may need it so that they can break through in their 2025. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful, blessed evening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.